But today we go international for our Friar Friday management report, and we are joined right now from Mexico City by the skipper of the San Diego Padres, Bob Melvin. Bob, good morning. Did the travels go safe yesterday? You get through customs okay?
Yeah, safe and slow. So we got to the hotel at around 1:30, and so I'm just looking outside right now. I haven't been out yet, so I can't give you any info on the local flavor here yet.
You know, Bob, some would say the offense has been a little safe and slow to start the season. So I did want to ask you. I
don't know about safe, but slow, yeah.
So I did want to ask you, you know, it's something that you see, you hear. When the offense is scuffling a little bit, you hear, oh, man, the approach is wrong. I don't like this team's approach. Now, you were a big leaguer. You've managed in the big leagues a long time. Tell us a little bit about approach, and are you satisfied with the way that guys are maybe working on their approach every day?
Without a doubt. Look, we have so much information that we give guys and can give guys on pitchers. So much information from their previous setups and so forth and where they are. Yes, the approach is fine. We're just not getting results. And whether it's, you know, guys are pressing a little bit or everybody's, you know, it's contagious and we're in a funk all at the same time. If I could put a handle on it, we wouldn't be, you know, this slow at this point right now. But it is the fact of the matter, and you know we have really good players with track records, and we have to have faith that they're going to come out of it. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for everybody here, but that's the stance we have to take.
Bob Scanlon, who on the trip with you there in Chicago, reported yesterday that you offered Juan Soto if he wanted to take a day off just to work on whatever, but he said, I want to keep working on it in the lineup. What's your thought process there in terms of, is it up to the players? Is it up to the skipper? I saw some fans go, well, why does Juan Soto have a say in this? Bob Melvin is the manager. How does your thinking work when it comes to a player who's struggling and where you're going to put him in the lineup?
I feel it out and I do what I think's best. So I had a conversation with him, and that's where we came to. He's probably a prime example of what's going on right now. A guy that you watch him take batting practice, you watch him go through his progression and pregame stuff, and he's hitting every ball in the gap in left center field hard on the line, and he gets in the game and he's pulling balls and he's pulling on the ground. So he's trying to correct it. Sometimes it's just easier said than done, but just based on my conversations with him, that's the decision I made, was to go with him. We'll see. Here's we're in a place where if you get the ball in the air at over 7,000 feet, it should travel pretty well. So, we'll see how it goes here and down the road. If I feel like he needs a day off, then he'll get one.
Talking to the skipper, Bob Melvin, here on Ben and Woods this morning. How hard is it for you, a manager, because you love the players, they need to perform. How is how are their mentals right now? Is it frustration? Is it confidence that they'll get through it? Kind of give us, if you could, a look inside the clubhouse at how everyone's feeling.
Yeah, if we get off to a good start and this happens in the middle of the season, it's probably not so dramatic and so noticeable. I think with the guys we have at any particular time, it probably is, and we're probably getting more production from other guys in the lineup than the guys that we're really counting on, Les Xander. But yeah, look, every day there's work. We have a hitters meeting every single day on the approach to an opposing pitcher. We had a really good talk. Some guys spoke up the other day about, look, we stay the course. We know, we're confident in what we do. We're going to break out of this, what we need to do, whether it's stand a fastball, look breaking ball, whatever. It's just not happening right now. And I know it's certainly frustrating for our fans. It's every bit as frustrating for us, if not more.
I know you waited a very long time to finally write Fernando Tatis Jr. onto your lineup card. How did the first week go for you to finally get to use that kid?
Yeah, look, it was great to get him back, and for especially for him, he just it's been a long process for him to get back in the lineup. So, there's been times he's been productive for us. Got a couple big hits the other night that won us a game. His enthusiasm shows up every day. I love how he plays the game. He really cares about the game, and it's just nice to have him back. One guy's not going to be a quick fix for everything that's going on. It's going to be a group thing, but certainly great to have him back and just write his name in the lineup and kind of let him do his thing there at the top of the order.
And Bob, I haven't seen much on some of the guys that we brought in, David Dahl, Adam Engel, Campusano. I mean, Nola, he was hitting so well in spring training. He took that fastball to the face. It had to mess with him a little bit. And I know he's been scuffling like a madman. It's got to be tough for you. You know how hard it is to play that position. But when is Campusano coming back? And I know you were planning on using him more, and then he got injured. So what's the update on that?
Yeah, he still hasn't had a bat in his hand. He still's got some soreness in the thumb. So he's throwing, but he's not catching the ball. We're trying to do everything we can to keep his arm in shape. So once he gets back to being able to put a bat in his hand and catch bullpens and so forth, we speed it up some, but he is not able to do that. He's still probably several days away from something like that. So, and then there's a progression on top of that. As far as Dahl goes, he's feeling better. I think he's playing in some camp games. Adam Engel's been playing on a rehab assignment. So he's probably the closest at this point. But, as far as the catching situation goes, there are contributions that Knowles gives. Obviously, he's frustrated offensively. So, we have what we have right now, and we'll continue to push through it.
And I trust you because that was your position that you played. And the layman, all of us certainly don't know how challenging that is to know every single pitcher, their repertoire, what the hitters are doing, and then also go in and contribute. He really has put together some great ABs. He has, and it just the results weren't there for him. How's he doing, mentally, and is he trying to, stay confident and positive throughout this?
Yeah, he is. And, it bothers him that he's being pinch hit for. And, I'm glad it's bothering him. He has a track record of hitting. His at-bats here recently have been better. He's been drawing some walks, been sneaking a few hits in there. At some point in time, it's like anybody here, it's going to come for him too. But the longer it goes on, the more maybe you press a little bit. And, you feel it every day when you wake up. So, as a group, I think it's just, he's kind of going about his at-bats the way we are right now as a team, and they're not our best. So he is contributing. The pitchers love throwing to him, so forth and so on. Until Campy gets back, we'll Sullivan will get some games too. But, right now the part we rely on the most with Knowles is his game calling and catching ability.
Talking to Padres skipper Bob Melvin from Mexico City here on Ben and Woods. And baseball is, Bob, it's a meritocracy. You play better, you get to play more, good things happen. There's almost no exceptions, except sometimes when a young player still has options and you're working on a roster. So I'm asking you about Ryan Weathers and the decision to send him down, the conversation. He's done so well to send him down to AAA so he could kind of keep starting and keeping his arm up. What was that like the between the two of you?
Yeah, look, it wasn't just me. It was, Ruben was in there. We have front office guys in there. Look, it wasn't about performance, not for a second. He performed in the rotation. He performed in the bullpen. I think it's the 14th that we end up going back to 4 days rest. Something we did and was successful with doing last year early in the season was making sure our starters got at least 5 days rest to get them through the season. That's what we've sent him down to get ready for. Now, you can't who knows what happens between now and then, but at that point in time, that was our thinking, is we wanted him to be that guy that was going to bump back into the rotation and start. Whether it's one turn, whether it's two turns, I'm not sure, but the way he's pitched, even after he only starts a couple times, he's certainly put himself in the conversation of being in the bullpen because of his performance. This was not performance driven that he was sent down.
Yeah, and I think that seems pretty obvious as a fan, even watching. The other guy, of course, was Nick Martinez, who was in the rotation. Now bringing him out of the bullpen. Man. As a skipper, how valuable is it to have a guy like that? We talked about him on the show yesterday in terms of those are the guys the championship teams always seem to have in their bullpen that can do a lot of different things. And we saw it again this week, Bob.
There's nobody like him, really. So, he wants to start. Everybody wants to start who, be on the routine and so forth. But, man, not only did he pitch beautifully, one time around the lineup, 3 innings, he gives the rest of the bullpen, Les Hader, that day a day off, which is just huge for us when you're playing. We started 24 out of 25. We have a 7-man bullpen, all those things. And now all of a sudden he shows up for 3 innings in a win game. It's a 1-run game at the time or a 2-run game. not many guys can do what he can do in his versatility. So it's, at least for me, it's like, it's a big, a big comfort to have him back in the bullpen, knowing that not only can I rely on him, I can rely on him for multiple innings. And he's a guy that gets both lefties and righties out. And a lot of these matchup teams really don't know what to do with him. They don't know whether to pinch hit. They don't know where to stay with their righties because of his repertoire and his success with both sides of the plate.
That's fascinating. I never thought of it that way. Talking to Bob Melvin, Padres manager here on Ben and Woods this morning, Bob. And I wanted to ask you too, your starting pitching, just kind of your overall take. I've really enjoyed watching Lugo pitch. He's a battler out there. Walker had a nice rebound. Blake Snell, again, 2 runs shouldn't be a nail in the coffin for any pitcher. I know you want more length from him. I know he wants more length, but is it do you turn up the heat on those guys a little bit more to try to get a little more out of them?
Well, yeah, we try to push him a little more. Blake threw over 100 pitches in those 5 innings. So, he's a notorious slow starter. Tried to do some things to combat that, in the off season and leading up into spring training. And it hasn't gotten to that point yet where we see the dominant guy where he has in the second half, mostly in the second half. So, he continues to work on trying to get deeper in games. For walk 5 the other day, which wasn't ideal and got him out of the game a little bit earlier. But, like our club is in general, we're not in sync yet. So, here we are, 500, game under 500, kind of meddling along. Things are going to come together. It just hasn't to this point, and you can't really blame it solely on the offense because there have been times when we haven't pitched very well too. So, we just continue to work and believe, and that's the most important thing is don't lose your belief because we're only 20 some games into the season.
Bob, now that you personally fixed Manny Machado by dropping him to 5th in the order, do you leave him there? That's the only thing that happened. Obviously, that was the only thing, and Manny had nothing to do with it at all.
Nice to see that.
Do you move
smile.
him right back up? How does that work?
Yeah, probably today he's going to be a little bit higher in the order.
Tomorrow.
Manaya against the left. Tomorrow, exactly. Who knows what it is right now? Tomorrow we've got Manaya, so we're going to try to get most of our righties up there as quickly as we can against him. So, you know what? Actually, the last 2 at bats from the night before, I think he found something. You could tell he was a little bit more balanced, and that's really key with him. He's not too quick onto the front side. Hands aren't coming with him and getting bad swings. So. He's been working really diligently in the cage, and hopefully yesterday, not that a guy like that needs some results to have success and confidence, but he did, and hopefully that's a Kickstarter for him.
Yeah. One last thing for me. You mentioned the altitude, obviously, and when teams go into Coors Field, I know it's something you have to plan for with pitching and other elements. What kind of planning and strategy do you have in mind for these 2 games, given that no one's ever played Major League Baseball at this altitude before?
It's crazy, right? So I'm just trying to get through all the literature that our training staff's given us here in this day to figure out what I'm drinking and electrolytes and, everything. Are you just trying to maintain water in your body, let alone trying to figure out what, we're going to do on the field come tomorrow. So look, ball's probably going to fly. Both teams have the ability to hit some home runs. Should be exciting, but until we get out there today in the workout and see how the field plays and see how the ball carries, not 100% sure what it's going to look like.
Well, just pass on a message from us. Have fun, guys. Go out
there
and have some fun.
Yeah.
I want them to.
Yeah, I have mentioned that one.
All right, okay.
So yeah, I'll do that again. From you guys, it might have a little more.
Yes, it might. It might carry a little more weight. Thank you so much, Bob, for your time. Good luck to you guys, and we'll be rooting for you.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Soon.